Folks, I need you to help me out here. I just watched a video and it's left me somewhat confused, left me scratching my head. Because I've only got my man logic to go by, and I understand the difference between men and women. Men think logically and women think emotionally. So hence why a lot of things they do don't make sense to us guys. And this is one of these situations. Now, I just watched a video about what I'm going to do, I'll leave the link of the video in the description for you, so you can check it out for yourself. Basically, you got a black woman responding to the feedback from a lot of black men that black women tend to be more feminine with men outside their race. Now, this is a American video. The woman, she's American. So obviously it more applies to what's going on in America, I would imagine. So anyway, let me just make a few things clear. First, as I've stated in many videos, I don't give a flying fuck who you date. I've got more important things to worry about. I've got bigger fish to fry, and to me that's a petty thing, worrying about what a complete stranger does with their love life. You know, you owe it to yourself to find happiness wherever it comes from. Right? I really couldn't give a flying fuck who you date. Anyway, so she was talking about, like, obviously why she feels more comfortable dating outside her race, and all power to her. No problem. I've got no issues with that. And she was saying how that, you know, outside of a race, men make her feel protected, whereas inside a race, black women don't feel protected. And she gave an example of Chicago. She said if a woman was to be all feminine and sweet in a place like Chicago, she wouldn't last 5 minutes, because in terms of a tough place like Chicago, you got to be rough and tough with it in order for your survival, which is fine. That makes sense to me logically, right? So, you know, you're in a hostile environment, so you need to have your guard up to protect yourself. Logically, that makes sense. Now, this is where I'm scratching my head now. Okay. So let's say I'm in a place like Chicago. After watching her video now, right? I'm in a place like Chicago. I've got her video in the back of my mind now. I see a black woman that I find attractive. I thought, oh, she looks quite nice. I would like to go and talk to her. Now, I've got her video in the back of my mind, because I'm thinking, well, this woman's going to be hostile towards me. She's going to be rude to me. She's going to see me as a potential enemy. So this is why I'm scratching my head now. I'm thinking, well, why would I want to approach a black woman in a place like Chicago or in America? Because once I've got that video in the back of my head, thinking, well, what would be the incentive for me as a black man to approach a black woman, knowing there's a high possibility that she's going to be all masculine and rude and horrible to me? Why would I then want to approach her? What's the incentive? What's in it for me? Why should I approach her? Now, this is another thing that leaves me my head scratching. If I then was to say, well, I don't approach black women because they got an attitude problem. If I were to say that, a lot of black women would protest and say that I'm wrong for saying that and thinking that. But this woman has just said in the video, she's just give the justification for them having an attitude. Which, I mean, of course, I know that doesn't apply to all black women, because certainly the black women that I date and the sort of black women I would date, they sure the fuck don't have that horrible ghetto, ignorant, fucking cold, unwelcoming attitude. Not for starters, because I wouldn't approach. I would have nothing to do with them. So I know it doesn't apply to all, because, like I said, I've seen and witnessed, and I know women who are not like that. Thank God. And another thing, thank God I was born in the UK and I don't live in a place like Chicago. It sounds like fucking hell. You know, you approach a woman and you're going to get your head bitten off. What? Gee. Anyway, so could someone break down this woman's logic and make sense to me in terms of, I could understand why a woman would need to be, she'd have to have a guard up in a place like Chicago for argument's sake. But then what's baffling me is then why would a black man would want to approach a black woman in that environment? Why would he want to approach some masculine, angry woman? What's the incentive? Or is she saying that black men shouldn't approach black women in that environment at all? Just leave that black women to men outside her race. Is that what she's saying? Help me out here. I need this video. Well, I don't need, but I would like this video to make sense of me, because it's left me my head scratching, because it's conflicting messages there. You know, you can't say that all black women have an attitude, because that's untrue. But then you've got a video promoting a black woman having an attitude. I'm confused. You see the problem here? Okay, right, so leave a comment and just help me out here. Help me out understand female logic, because with my man logic, it's doing my head in. I don't get it.